This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. This Wednesday, November 15th. Beautiful day here in the city of Belleville. A little cloudy, but the sun is starting to come out. Some beautiful sunrise photos. I wasn't able to snag one myself, which is unfortunate because I love a good sunrise as well as a good sunset. But thanks to all of you who sent in your photos. It kind of felt like I got one. Yeah, a lot of photos cropping up on social media this morning. It was fantastic. And it looks like the next couple of days, pretty nice as we head into a pretty big weekend here in Belleville and the Quinte area. Santa arrives this weekend, and the Festival of Lights here in Belleville kicks the weekend off on Friday. For many, that is the kickoff to the holiday season, the real beginning of it. This is when the chaos starts and that holiday feeling. And to find out more about Festival of Lights, we were joined by the committee chair, Councillor Garnet Thompson, earlier this morning, so we'll check in with him. And as I said, that's really just the beginning because a lot's coming up in the next couple of weeks. Santa Claus Parade on Sunday, Operation Red Nose back out on the roads next weekend, and we'll talk about that today in the Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. First, though, a word from Simple Desk. Simple Desk in Trenton is your ultimate destination to streamline, market, and strengthen your business's brand. Jenny, the visionary behind Simple Desk, has built a team of qualified business growth experts with experience in marketing, design, and operations to help grow and scale your business. Simple Desk is the mastermind behind BRAZEN, a full-day experiential event for women by women. This full-day experiential event on May 31st, 2024 is packed with networking, vendor booths, exciting giveaways, delicious food, and a speakers panel of incredible female entrepreneurs sharing their inspiring stories. Tickets are on sale now. For all the details and to buy your tickets before they sell out, visit simpledesk.ca/brazen. And be sure to follow BRAZEN on Instagram at BRAZEN Events 1. So as I mentioned in the beginning, the intro of the podcast, this weekend is always a big weekend here in the Quinte area. For many, it marks the beginning of the holiday season, not only because Santa arrives this weekend. Santa Claus Parades gets underway, the first one being Friday night, and then here in Belleville Sunday afternoon. But also coming up on Friday to kick off the weekend, it is the annual Festival of Lights. And as we heard from Councillor Garnet Thompson, it's been going on for quite some time, a pretty big event here in Belleville, and we have some new elements to it. So to hear it all, we thought we would check in again with Councillor Garnet Thompson, the chair of the Festival of Lights Committee. A big weekend coming up here in the city of Belleville, of course, the kickoff to, well, I guess it could be considered the official kickoff to the holiday season. Santa arrives on Sunday, but let's not forget Friday, the Festival of Lights returns.
Yep, this is the sort of the lead into the Santa Claus Parade is the Christmas light display, and we call it the Festival of Lights. And it's the sort of the lead into that big weekend. Mm-hmm. And, it's been going on for years and years and years. We've sort of made it a big event in the last number of years since we took it down to Myers Pier. We took it down there about 12, 13 years ago, and it's just absolutely grown since then. But it grew because volunteers, and it grew because of donors.
I'm sure every little bit helps.
Every little bit helps, and it's made this displays. And this year we've added 3 new ones.
Oh, wow.
We got the interacting seat that people will be able to interact with, sit on, the kids
really?
will. Yes, so it's pretty exciting. Well, and I've lost track of how many displays we have. We probably have there's got to be well over 200 displays.
Well, and quite a history to it too, because myself and our family, it's on our lights tour. It's a must stop for us every year. But I remember even as a young person coming to Belleville and seeing the lights, and some of those displays are still part of the bigger display.
Oh, yes.
Of course, I'm talking about the displays in memory of the families here in the Belleville area. Yeah,
like, you go back, it started on Marsh Drive, matter of fact, with the Fosters.
Yes.
And they went all out. They would be given candies out. They'd be dressed up. They had people dressed up as elves. So you go back that, and then it went from there to the Nichols on Marsh Drive. So it's got a long, long history in the city of Belleville, and it has some meaning. So, and it really started because, unfortunately, because of 2 deaths in a car accident. And that's when the Foster says, we're going to do this in memory of their son and the Cloden. And this really is a memory of them, but it's grown and grown and grown. And now we got to the point that we have a fairly big, and this year we're adding a drone display.
I was just going to say, you mentioned the additional light displays, but there's some other features that are new this year too.
Yeah, we've never done this before. We in the past, last year they did a fireworks, but there's so much talk about, it scares some people and everything. So we've joined with a company out of Kingston, and they're going to put on a drone display. Now it's about a 10 to 15 minute drone display.
Wow!
And it will feature a Christmas theme,
of course,
and which is very nice. We've seen a couple of 3 displays already, but this is really something new. And Belleville's never done in any organization a drone display. So we're encouraging people to come down, and the drone display is going to be at 7 o'clock.
Friday night.
As our drone display. The park will open at 5. There'll be food vendors this year too, as a matter of fact.
Oh, wow.
Now, last year when they had the Swicks, they had food vendors, but this is the first time at Myers Pier. So we got 2 food vendors, and I think people wanted it, and we have some Johnny on the spots too for people that want to come early and join. So the place will start filling up at 5, and we got intervals. Shirley Diane is going to be singing.
Oh, nice.
Scotty Leon will be doing some emceeing. I'll do some speaking. We'll introduce some the donors. We're hoping a couple of the donors will speak for a couple of minutes, and hopefully be able to give them a reason why they contribute so much every year to this display. Because we're hoping Ross McDougall, not trying to center him out, but he's been one of the bigger ones over the years. But we've got lots of other ones. We're hoping 1 or 2 of the big display people or donors will say a few words, and really what inspires them to contribute this. But I always want to say it's the kids that get so much out of this.
The young and the young at heart.
Yes.
Because I'll be quite honest, Councillor, that I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
As I said, it's a must stop on our lights tour every year. We have to come and walk through the park and take it all in. It's just magical. So it's wonderful.
It is magical.
Here every year.
And when you turn those lights on, when they all go on at the same time, which is amazing.
Yes.
Really. And when you watch the kids' eyes when those lights comes on, it's magical. And we always got to remember there's children out there. That's probably one of the highlights of their Christmas, because some kids don't have as much as others, so they come down there and enjoy Santa Claus, sit on his knees. Mrs. Claus is there. We're having the opportunity. The kids can write a letter to Santa.
Oh, good.
And put it in a mailbox. And that's I think important for the kids to be able to tell the people. But it's the interaction with the display that's so important. And I know I've gone down there, done this now for, I think this is my 12th or 13th year of chairing the display. But there's never a year go by the old heart doesn't pound.
Oh, I'm sure.
And people like yourself come down there. And, we've been talked as one of the better displays. Nothing against any of the other ones, but the donors is the ones and the different displays. But you'll be excited with the 3 new displays. The one that's interactable by the public. I think everybody will be excited about that. So
the Festival of Lights here in Belleville kicking off this Friday. Now, the lights will stay on for how long?
The lights will stay on until January 7th.
So right through the holidays.
Yes, but Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus will also be there every Friday night, starting in December 1st, from 6 till 8 o'clock.
Wonderful.
So they'll be there handing out the coloring books and enjoying some time, spending some time. They'll probably have maybe a few candy canes also to hand out. So
probably, yeah.
But Friday night's the big night. And I encourage everybody, please come down. Please come early because we're expecting a big crowd. So parking is important. There'll be side streets. There's a big parking lot. So come on down. We got lots of activities. And as I say, it starts at 5 and the lights will probably go on about 7:30.
Thank you to Councillor Thompson for joining us. And yeah, so there's new light displays. They have a drone show. Santa will be there. There'll be food vendors. It's just a really fun time. And as you heard, we really do. It's part of our lights tour. There's a couple of really big displays. Quinte West is another one we like to do. Frankfurt, of course, it's like a loop. We do Frankfurt, Quinte West, and then we come here to Belleville and we take in the Festival of Lights here. And we have for years, even as a child. I was saying to Councillor Thompson about how, as a kid, I remember coming to Belleville to see the light display. Now, at the time, it was over at the Fosters. It wasn't right downtown. It literally was in someone's front yard, a couple of houses perhaps, and it was just fun. It was just something to do. And it's absolutely free, which again is so nice because anybody can go and everyone can enjoy. And don't forget those letters to Santa. As Councillor Thompson mentioned, they will have a mailbox set up there so kids can mail their letters to the big guy in red and get them to the North Pole sooner rather than later. You want to make sure you give them plenty of time. So a big night coming up on Friday to kick off a great weekend. Mention the big guy in red. He then will be in Belleville Sunday afternoon. Santa Claus parades kick off. First one being Friday night, which is looking okay. And then Belleville's on Sunday, and it just goes from there. Santa's going to be very, very busy over the coming weeks. And you also have to add in the special appearances he makes because Santa also arriving at the Quinte Mall this week. So if you'd like to take the kids over to the mall and get a photo with Santa, you can do that beginning this week as well. All of that information and more can be found at InQuinte.ca. So we talked about that this morning. And as I said, it really is the kickoff to the holiday season. Things really get rolling along with the Santa Claus parades, the Festival of Lights. Happy to report that Operation Red Nose Quinte is back. Last week was the official launch. Myself and Mark are this year's co-chairs of Operation Red Nose, so looking forward to going out on a night or two, giving some rides ourselves. But in the meantime, volunteers are needed. If you think that you would like to drive people home safely this holiday season, now is the time to register. You do need to have a background check, but if it costs you anything at all from our local police detachments, it will be reimbursed by Operation Red Nose. You just have to contact Rick Watt. But you go to the website, Operation Red Nose, and log in. You register through the website. You go get your police check. You come back, and boom, you're done. They want approximately 100 volunteers, and they're not quite halfway there. This initiative kicks off next weekend. So if you've been on the fence about it, you're thinking, yeah, I think I will, but I've got time. No, you don't. Get to the website, get the paperwork filled out, because yes, next Friday, they head back out on the road. It's their first night on the road. And then they will be on the road every weekend leading up to and over the holiday. So Friday and Saturday nights, beginning at 8 p.m., they will take their first call, and your rides have to begin and end either in Belleville and Trenton. It's absolutely free, though donations are encouraged and accepted. They go back to the YMCA to fund children's programs. So it all stays in the community, all stays local, and you get home safely, because we all want to enjoy the holiday season. Sometimes we overindulge, and that's fine, but keep this number handy, 613-962-4334. Keep that number in your phone, put it in your phone, keep it on your person, and use it this holiday season, because we want everybody to have a safe and happy holiday as we head into another busy one. So that kicks off next weekend, next Friday, Saturday, every weekend through and over New Year's. So a great organization. If you want to volunteer, again, InQuinte.ca. And just quickly, I threw this out here this morning, and I'd like to talk about it more when Mark's back, but I couldn't let it just pass without making some comment because I can relate to it to a point, and then I can't at all, and it's gross. We saw this firsthand over the weekend. When it comes to competing, or even, I think it even comes into play if you're doing a big presentation. When you need to, quote unquote, win, and not necessarily a game, but when you need to do well for luck, quite often, we have a routine or a ritual that we'd like to follow. Maybe there's a certain meal that we have to have before we do anything. Maybe there's a piece of jewelry that we have to wear. Maybe there's just something you have to do before you head out to a game or a presentation or some sort of competition. I saw it over the weekend with Ben because, as I mentioned earlier, we were in a hockey tournament and the boys did really, really well. But that very first game, we got to the arena and he was wearing the wrong shoes. He hadn't put his boots on. He was still wearing his Crocs, which is not appropriate attire. He's not supposed to wear them to the game. But anyway, it was too late. He had them on. And of course, we kind of didn't give him trouble, but pointed it out and said, dude, you got to, come on, next time pay closer attention. We got to wear your boots to the next game. Well, then they win. So then it becomes, well, I have to wear it to the next game, Mom. Like, I have to do exactly what I did. So the Crocs ended up at every game, and they did win every game. So it's hard to argue that. I wouldn't say I'm a superstitious person, but I can appreciate that, yeah, if it works, why fix it? So he's now wearing his Crocs to the arena every time we go until they lose, which is fine. To me, that is reasonable. I can handle that. His coach can handle that. It doesn't hurt anybody, doesn't affect anybody else. But then I read what Patrick Mahomes does on game day. And to be quite honest, it just grossed me out. He has a certain pair of underwear he wears on game day. It's the only pair of underwear he will wear on game day. And if he's on a streak, no pun intended, he doesn't wash them. He continues to wear them. Now, this pair of underwear, his wife gave him, but they weren't even married when she gave them to him. So he's had, and now they have a family. So it's been a little while. He admits they are not old ratty underwear, that he does look after them and he does wash them, but also says that as long as I'm winning football games, I'll keep the superstition going. And if I'm on, if I'm on a hot streak, I can't wash them. I got to just keep it rolling. Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. As we know, he plays with Travis Kelce. But that is gross. I'm sorry. That is taking what can be seen as a good luck charm or a routine to the extreme. I couldn't do that. Now, to be fair, I do know that there are people who don't wash equipment or team jerseys or anything like that if they're on a streak. And that too, to me, is that's kind of gross. If it's smelly, we need to wash it. But it's amazing to me how serious we all take it. And again, I'd love to broach the subject again with Mark, and I'll have to make a note to do it when he returns next week. Because Mark, being the sports enthusiast that he's in, there is a bit of competitiveness there. So I would think that if he believed something was giving him an edge in some way, he would do it too. So I'm curious to know. I'd like to hear his thoughts. So we're going to bring it back up again next week when he returns. But I'm planting the seeds now. If you have an opinion or a thought, would love to hear from you. You can always text it in at 613-962-0955 or message one of us, or wait until we talk about it again next week and you can pipe in there, because it's just, that's taking it to the extreme. But they're doing well. So again, it's kind of hard to argue it. Don't have to like it, but And I don't. You've been listening to the Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. Coming up tomorrow with Mark and Charity Mornings. It is a Throwback Thursday. We unveiled our theme and songs this morning. Again, keeping with this weekend's theme of the holidays right around the corner and the kickoff to the holiday season. It's all about the lights. Yes, we're being drawn into the light by Journey, which is Team Charity this week, and Manfred Mann, which is Team Mark. It's Blinded by the Lights. So depending on what song you'd like to hear, they're both up on Facebook and Instagram. Which one are you going to vote on? The one with the most votes will be the winner, and we'll play that after 8 o'clock tomorrow. Galaxy of Games on the way. We've got a high-low game again, keeping with the holiday season. It's a holiday theme, high-low. You guess the number I'm looking for tomorrow and win with the local social house here in Belleville, as well as a pair of movie passes to Quinte Film Alternative's presentation of Bones of Crows. It's going to be playing at the Empire Theatre a week from today. You can get more information at theempiretheatre.com and listen tomorrow at 7:15 to play along with Mark and Charity Mornings and Galaxy of Games. Hope you'll join us.